have plenty of pins if you will. How do you
Megan, what are you doing, babe?
Oh, this is a bracelet.
What?
It's a bracelet. You want to pin it?
Wouldn't you rather have
Grab it like that. Yeah.
the stupid florist made it a wrist corsage?
Hi, I'm taking a movie. You're supposed to look nice. Yeah, it's a movie.
Well, Miss Honoree, we would like to congratulate you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear 80-year-old person. Happy birthday to you. Point and shoot, and just make sure you're asking people to say, you know, we're going to take a picture.
She's working
Why?
Split this with Megan and
When you were little, you had a whole one.
I don't want my daughter.
When you were little, you had a whole one.
You don't want to see Megan here.
Look at these two brothers arguing.
That's Mike. That's Mike.
Oh.
Hey. What? Oh, what
Are
happened?
you taking moves of mine?
Somebody's bottom fell off. They aren't glued on.
Oh, be careful. How rude of me. I almost drank it. These bottoms aren't.
That's like, what did I get here?
You don't want to pull back. Come over here. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Come over here. You got to stand
Come over here, Grandma.
All right.
No, it disinfects me.
Take the movie, please, Bob. I'm taking it right now, Dad. All right, now. I'd like to first thank everybody for showing up.
Thank you very
For the
much.
most wonderful lady in the world who turned 80, and my mother, my brother's mother, my sister's mother, to a wonderful person, Mom. A happy birthday. You all love
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandmother. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Vamos.
Beach.
Huh?
Beach.
Everybody.
Bobby's got it. I think he's got it.
Who's got matches?
Who's got matches? Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I didn't expect all this.
You wanted to talk, except your son.
Yeah.
So you can talk,
You can talk now.
Give a speech.
Who's my puppet?
Yeah, you can talk now. Great, you're allowed to talk.
No, it's wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pat, for everything. You've been great.
And many more.
Bobby, thank you.
We didn't light him yet. We'll light him next.
Everybody was great.
Many more parties.
Many more.
Parties, yeah. Many more.
Emily.
We'll do this next year. You're ready?
No, we have candles to light next.
We just need matches.
Matches. We have matches.
Yeah.
I'll get them.
Inside, on the bottom drawer.
Right there. I'll get them, guys. You got them for Joy?
Bottom drawer of the cabinet.
All good? Yeah.
80th birthday. I'm so glad I have my baby sister. I love you always so much. Remember, Pat, you always lost one of your shoes.
Yeah.
We were always looking for your other
I
shoe.
hated shoes.
Mom always bought you a little black doll for Christmas. You loved them so much. You had a beautiful head of blonde curls with big baby blue eyes. We used to picnic at Red's Wild Pony Horse Trainer.
Yeah.
We sat on the fence watching them train the wild horses. Old Man Mitchell's farm wasn't too far away. We used to go there and take fruit off of his trees. One day he came after us with a shotgun.
And we used to eat the vegetables, pick them up, didn't even wash them, and would eat them. Now you won't have health problems.
Mom's rooster was always chasing you around the yard. You were so afraid of that rooster. We all were. Pat, you were always a wonderful, devoted wife and mother. God is always going to be good to you. Love always, your sister Agnes.
Oh.
Agnes.
Why?
Oh, I got to top that now.
Gonna have to go a long way to finish.
Knows Bob and his mom always say when he married me, he married his mom. In lots of ways, we are very much alike, and mainly in the way that we both love her son Bobby very much. One of my happy memories with Pat is when she came to Florida with us for the first time. We both came out of the house to get in the pool, and we both had on basically the same bathing suit, the same color and the same style. We all sat in the pool. We're lucky to have a built-in table with a ledge seat, and drank and had snacks and laughed and just generally had a great time. Pat has a room in our Florida house called the mother-in-law room. I love having her as a guest because her two favorite things in the world are to clean the kitchen and clean the bathroom. How great a house guest can you have? Our Florida neighbors, Sandy and Dennis, are crazy about Pat too. They want us to all join their little community church, and lots of people in the church ask about Pat because she's visited there several times. Pat is a great cook, and I love coming to visit her and talking about recipes and looking at her cookbooks and cooking magazines. Her eggplant parmesan is absolutely the best I've ever had, and her preference for red packed tomatoes is legendary. The Barbarita family was very lucky that Pat married into it, as I was lucky too. We look forward to many more years of happy memories with Pat.
Hi, Grandma Barbarita. I have to say my favorite memory with you is 2 times I've been up to Long Island before this one. We were able to sit.
Talk louder.
Oh, she had the cold.
Cool.
I need to be back. We were able to sit
she had the cold.
when everyone was gone and just talk like for an hour or two about life and family and God and just living and everything, and I really loved that. I really appreciated your wisdom you shared with me, and I have retained that, or tried to put some into practice. And I, just am so grateful that I married into this family to meet such a wonderful woman like you.
Thank you. I'd like to start off by saying, like, this list is not really, well, I mean, this paper is not really a good representation of all the memories that we shared together, because there's a lot of them. I even remember being 2 years old and sitting in a crib or something over there. I mean, this house has so many memories in it. And you and Grandpa were just so awesome. Let me go over a couple that I remember the most. I can remember every time we arrived here, we had a fresh tomato basil sandwich with mayonnaise on it. Toasted. Oh, it's great. It was the best thing in the world.
And those chocolate chip cookies in the box.
Yeah, and coming from on a 3.5-hour trip, which seemed like forever for us. It was just a great thing to come here and have that. So I can still taste the fresh tomatoes. I'll never forget how you played board games with me and Elizabeth. We always had those great memories. We sit there and talk about family, and I'll never forget your quote that friends will come and go, but family will always be there with you. I'll never forget your wisdom and the memories that we shared about family and life goals. Never forget the special events we shared together, like the time we went fishing on Long Island. I caught a boot and a crab trap. I don't think we caught any fish. In the crab trap that we caught, we put a little chicken in it, and we caught a fish with the crab trap. I mean, it just really wasn't. We had other times we went fishing to the other place in the meadow, and that was a really good time because you guys showed us how to fish. And then we had the Jones Beach a number of times. There was just a lot of good stuff that happened. Of course, I'll never forget the time when Grandma came down and took care of us while my mom and Dad went to Paris.
Best time of my life.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 weeks of like just complete comfort. I mean, it was not needless to say that.
They got spoiled.
I mean, we were spoiled beyond belief. I mean, my parents are great, but man, we had fried chicken for the first time on a skillet, and nothing ever tasted like that. And the thing I'll never forget, and Liz will back me up on this, I was sitting at the table doing my homework. Grandma's reading a paper, and then all of a sudden she goes, and it was the funniest thing. I just laughed forever. It was great. We had it was making hot breakfast for us every morning. It was awesome.
Wow.
What else do we have here? On a personal, this is the last of it. On a personal note, Grandma, I'll never forget your words of wisdom and all the advice you ever had given us. To this day, I'll always remember. I already said that. I'll never forget those good times we had over all those years. Thank you so much for all those times you have been there for us to share your life memories. As we embark on the future, I look forward to sharing more memories and great experiences with you. Love you, Grandma.
I have one little quick favorite quote from Rich because he couldn't be here. I don't know if you remember this, but about a year ago, Rich and I were sitting with Grandma at the dinner table when Rich asked Grandma how she was enjoying her golden years. Grandma replied, "Golden years? What golden years? They're tarnished." And we laughed all the way home. So anytime we talk about, our own future, he goes, "Remember what Grandma always says. Golden years are tarnished. So let's live today." And he's right. So that's one of our favorite memories. But from me, this is memories by way of quotation. Over the years, I always knew that Grandma and Grandpa had my back. I knew she had my best interest at heart, and I knew she would always have a special knack at putting my life's trivialities in check instead of allowing me to wallow in self-pity. This is a list of my favorite quotes, which I now find myself muttering from time to time as advice as well. When heartbroken, "Oh, Denise, forget about him. You won't remember him in a year." When in fights with girlfriends. 10 years from now, you won't even remember her name. When I used to complain about not having enough money. Money, money, money. All people talk about is, "I want more money." What good is it? Be happy you have a family and a roof over your head. Money can't buy family. So that's what I remember. So, Grandma, thank you for being the voice of reason throughout my life. Thank you for always making me laugh in times of trouble or heartache. And thank you for never pretending to be anything but who you really are. I love you, and I admire you not only for all of the things you've done in your life to help our family, but because I always knew that I would get the truth from you. Sugarcoating is nice on candy, but it doesn't always work in the real world. I'm a better person because I have you in my life and because I have you as a role model. Thank you for showing me the model of a strong and courageous woman.
Oh. Yeah, why don't you just read what you...
Joe, no coaching. Come on, let's get out of the picture.
Okay.
The stage mother out of the picture.
Just read the first one.
When I'm in the kitchen trying to help Grandma, she always says, "Move it." When I'm in the way.
Come closer,
Yeah, come closer.
Something.
You have to talk loud.
Talk louder.
Okay.
Move closer.
When I'm in the kitchen trying to help Grandma, she always says, "Move it," when I'm in the way.
Yeah, move closer.
Yeah, so she can hear you.
Okay.
You can say
Something that I will never forget is how Grandma and me like to play checkers together. And if I'm winning, there will be all of a sudden a new rule. In other words, she treats. Also,
shy over there. You cheat, Mom. Checkers, she said. I wish checkers. You also heard of your blood. They say you cheat, Mom.
another thing is that Grandma's honesty is always very refreshing.
People call it that. It's a young child, yes.
Grandma is always there for me and Megan with a warm and loving hug. We just can't squeeze her too tight or she'll break. I love her so much with all my heart. Grandma is always available for advice, both good and bad. She is one of our favorite people, and I love playing games with her and doing other activities. She is also one of me and Megan's best friends. I don't know what I would do without you, Grandma, and I love you.
Do you want me to take it from here?
One of my favorite memories of Grandma is when she came to Vegas and we had a girls' night out starting at 7 p.m., which didn't end until 5 a.m.
Oh my God. You too?
Danielle took her. Because I
We
couldn't
laughed so much I left $100 that I
we went to the casino and played every game of bingo while in between playing slots. The last game of bingo we played was at 3 a.m. Grandma won the last game, but we were laughing so much we forgot to get the money. When we were driving home, we didn't want to come home yet, so we stopped at Jack in the Box. When we got home, we were laughing so much Grandma couldn't get out of the car. It was one of the most priceless times I had with Grandma. When my brother and I was visiting one summer, it was hot, and Grandma told us to go outside and cool off under the hose that she put in a tree. Then she told us to take off our stockings and bloomers so she could wash them. We had to call my mom to find out what she was talking about. They called me up and said, what is she talking about? Grandma, since I was little, you were always there, whether playing games, watching David Blaine, American Idol, and laughing until I couldn't laugh anymore. I have the best, one-of-a-kind grandma. I love you, Grandma Danielle.
Oh.
After I would dress, I would come out of my room and she would say, "Are you going to comb your hair?" I really should be under care.
Yeah, we saw him like I
And these are the quotes we remember. Oh, you won't remember his name.
Right.
I called it Mom's Philosophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they? If I was perfect, I would be boring. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I'm gonna outlive you all just to annoy you. I'm spending your inheritance. You're out of the will. The importance of a penny is they won't let you on a bus if you're a penny short. Okay. Okay, this is about the mouse.
Oh, the
mouse. Mom saw a mouse in the house and stayed outside on a frigid winter day until Daddy came home. Oh, he said, "I hope the mouse is warm."
Grandma, I was going to take home a rat. Grandma.
Joe and I were down at the high school playing, and Mom came looking for us. When we got home, the chair was on fire in the living room because Mom left her cigarette on the chair. Remember we had to throw it out?
True, we had to pull a burning chair out.
It came into a burning chair. Okay, driving home the friends. Mom picked up Joe's friends from a hockey game, and they told Mom that Billy Farino was slow and sometimes forgets where he lives. Mom drove around the block 6 times and didn't realize she had passed the house 6 times. She didn't realize it.
The stop sign, she just stopped.
Oh, they're watching Bobby play football.
Oh.
Watching Bob play football, we argued who would sit next to her because she would squeeze her arms really hard and then say, "Is that Bobby on the ground?" She was here cheering. When baby Bob got carried off the football field one day, Mom wanted to run out onto the field to go get him.
When he hurt his back?
Then the Christmas tree. Mom went to get a Christmas tree and it was so big Daddy had to cut it up and just get it in the house.
Well, part of the story was my mom and I dragged it. We were in Lower East Side in Manhattan.
Oh my God.
And we got to drag it in the snow and drag it all the way to the house. We get into the house and realize the ceiling's a little low.
And it was so cold.
It was freezing.
Elizabeth, did you read yours?
No.
Oh, Kathy, you can read about yours.
Oh, this should be good. And then I remember gambling with Grandma with slot machines in Vegas. I'm so bad at this.
All right.
I'm not doing a good job. I don't know where my memories are. I wrote them down, but they're not on here. People check them off. There.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yes, that was the only memory.
Where I put my memory.
Oh, yeah.
And it took me a long time to understand my mother-in-law. But now that I do, I love her with all my heart. She's like a mother to me. She's a wonderful woman, and I just love her to death. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
And I agree with everything else. Yeah.
Joseph, there's envelopes there, Joseph.
Wait a minute.
All right, hold on, Elizabeth.
Boy, they
How could we forget?
They don't want to come back.
You must have tortured them.
She's my only relative that would play games with me. So I always loved coming to Grandma's house. She cooked us great food. We always had breakfast in the morning and lunch and a great dinner. And she always told us stories about when she was younger and her big family. And she always made us laugh. And there was also another time when, actually it was about a year ago in Florida, she was eating dinner in the pool, and she dropped her fork in. She said a curse word, took the fork out of the bowl and kept eating with it. And another thing she does is when there are crumbs on the table, crumbs off from their head.
She denies that to this day. She'll always deny that.
Change your kitchen around if she doesn't like it when you're
But Grandma, you always have good quotes, you always have good advice, and you can always make a happy time out of a sad situation.
That's true.
And I love you very much.
Can I also add one thing? She always told us the truth about Dad too.
You weren't telling the truth. I take it off.
So we'd always have some story, and then she'd say, "Oh, well, this is what really happened." You know?
Oh, I have one more thing. What kind of haircut is that, Kathy? That's ugly on you. You shouldn't.
Insulting or truthful, which is it? Insulting or truthful? Which is it?
I never knew what it was. I was always in tears after it happened.
Explosive words.
Miss Patricia, mother, sister, wife, pivot for our world, the citadel for our family, for our joy, the critical balance for the gift of happiness in life. The decades flow on silent feet. Honored service marks each score. Dedication of sublime content, secure in knowing that tomorrow is complete. We love you with the depth of endless thought, forged link by link from twice lived ice and fire. How often arrows from his quiver drew desire, launched arrows. Bob, Diane, and Joe were wrought. Today we lift a glass to honor 80 years of giving of yourself, of love, and thought to others. You forged your way in life, shared joys and tears. We and Bob in heaven know Pat is the best of mothers.
Very good.
Every woman is a daughter. Not every woman is a mother, or a wife, or a sister. Pat is all three and devoted to each segment of God's generous allocation. I can speak volumes about my observations of her as mother and wife. Her constant, thoughtless love of each child. Her clever, patient handling of Bob when he decided he had had the last drink and dinner must be on the table in 4 minutes. While others suffered for her, she laughed and regarded this male madness as a minor irritant on the social total scale of marriage. Such wisdom comes with years, but is partly inherent. I know her best, of course, as my sister. In thinking of and dredging up memories, there is that sudden, startling realization that Pat and I have never had an argument or shared harsh words. This is more for Pat than it does for me. Without pandering, she maintains an unobtrusive equanimity and independence. Everyone likes Pat. I think it's her non-combative, sensitive temperament. Ah, yes, a mental flashback that comes to mind often. I frequently visualize her, not as the mature woman and wife just described, when she was about 6, a vibrant, healthy girl who liked raw carrots. We had a beautiful, aggressive rooster. We other kids were afraid of him. He and Pat had a constant, playful war, each running at and away from each other. I can still see her in that magnificent flush of youth, with blonde hair flying wildly askew in the wind. A silly memory to isolate. Rather, it's the beginning of this essay that is life, which, like all essays, ends with that unknown journey from which no traveler returns. I think of my own 2 daughters, who are grown and professional, and similarly to that vision of Pat and the chicken, I wish they were little girls again, playing down by the brook. That, I guess, is the normal human dimension, to strive onward and upward, but always looking backwards to the path just traveled, back to the known and secure comforts shared with parents, siblings, trusted acquaintances, or a well-learned job. Yet we strive for the thrill of change, to marry, raise children, seek new work challenges. These desires elevate us and generally produce increased involvement in family. These motivations have changed Patricia from a little girl chasing a rooster to accepting the new titles of wife and mother. In doing so, she created the eternal story of her own family dynasty. All of you at her 80th birthday celebration are part of this new family. Sons, daughters, sisters and brothers-in-laws, nephews, nieces, and from you there will be a constant progeny and growth of new people with new dreams. This, Patricia, is the heritage you formed with Bob. The original question asked for memories for you to review in your quiet years. I offer instead an ongoing story, not of past, but of future events. I think you will find that your still unwritten novel will provide the best memories and your greatest future happiness. Joseph.
May I tell you a story about the rooster?
You don't want to know that name.
Fascinating.
Does he have a name?
No, he never had a name, that rooster. No, but he was like a dog. Nobody could come in the yard. And we all loved him. One day, I don't know which one of us said to my mother, Mom, where's the rooster? In your belly.
Oh my God!
That's Grandma.
She ate. Sure, she cooked it all.
That's a revelation.
Now we know where you got that sense. Whenever we went to her home, she would go on and on and on about her Bobby, her Joey, and her Diane. But unlike most people, she didn't do it at the expense of any of the other children. I remember my Aunt Pat, not a mean bone in her body.
Oh.
Everybody was very nice. I appreciate
There's
it.
more stuff.
Are there more?
Yeah.
Maureen's got one.
Good one. Oh, Maureen. Unexpected. Okay, my memories of sharing all the family communions, confirmations, graduations, weddings, Edie and John's 50th wedding anniversary, etc. And, you know, we'd eat, drink, and share all our pride in our families, and have a very good time. And then Barbarita's house and my house was always known as the Barbie doll house.
Yes.
First came Pat with a French twist in her skull. Then came that great collection of Barbie dolls down in her basement. Maureen and Diane just loved. So
Originals.
when we went there, we had a great time because the kids were so busy downstairs with the Barbie dolls, so we had a great time visiting upstairs with Mom and Dad. Then there was the weekend that we came out here with, I don't remember if you were here or not, but Agnes and Tish and Joe and I, and it was a holiday weekend. And Bob had to go to work on Monday, maybe so. And he went to work, and we started having a party about 3 in the afternoon. And he came home from work. And he thought it was a regular business day. Comes to the door, where's supper? Oh, yeah, it hadn't even been thought of. And he howled, and he howled.
Not my father.
He howled and he howled. Therefore, we nicknamed him El Lobo, meaning the wolf.
That's right. That's the nickname.
Oh, we know him El Lobo.
That's right.
Yeah. And anytime I've been in your house, whether it was with Joe, Diane, Maureen, Eileen, whoever, we've all just had a great time. And especially that last time that I was out here, that you and I sat down and started chatting at about 7 o'clock in the evening. And like Danielle, we ended it at 5 a.m. in the morning when the sun came up. But it was a great night. And then there was Linda's wedding day when you took Maureen's 3 babies.
Oh, I
so to
enjoyed that.
speak. I know.
enjoyed it.
Just what I put it
Good babies.
We dropped them off and we were so afraid that they'd misbehave and overwhelm you and all. Well, we came home and she was smiling and gushing. Between you and Bob, I don't know who had a better time.
Oh, that reminds me, put the whiskey on the gun on the TV. That's what I forgot that.
Hey, it works. Whatever. Maybe that's what you did that day because you swore they were good.
That's what they did. Oh, that was the other quote we missed. You didn't know they were around.
Yeah, didn't know they were around. Anyway, my message to you is Grandma Moses started painting at 80. What are your plans?
Great.
And also, I've been privileged to share the bad times with you as well as the good times. And I just hope that at times I've comforted you as much as you've comforted me. And my deep gratitude to you for always showing such great concern for Eileen, having visited her at the hospital. She and I both appreciate it, and she said to send you the best to her.
Thank you. Was it your child we put in the drawer?
Yeah, that was
Another great thing. That's on video.
That is another memory. We had been out here one weekend. We had been out here one weekend for the weekend, and it was a sort of a snowy wintry night. We got back on the Northern State Parkway to go home, and we cracked our block, our engine block. So we wound up being taken by the police. Diane was a maybe 4 or 5 months old infant, and Maureen. We wound up being taken by the police over to the fire department. We called Pat and Bob. Bob went in and got it, and we came back out here. And we had no place to put the baby for the night. So Pat, innovative Pat said, oh, just pull out the bureau drawer. And she lined it up real nice, and Diane put it in the bureau drawer all night. Where else could you put it?
Maybe that explains.
Logical thinking. And thank you for just being you. I love you very much.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Very.
Very nice.
I'm not done. I'm not done. Hey, go ahead, say something. Go ahead.
When we were trying to put our memories. Think of one particular moment. Because our life was quite good to us.
Thank you.
We were told so. We were always there. We never showed any disappointment in us. And if we had problems and even things that we did, we never thought about the day. We were always there. And you and Daddy, we offer a reflection to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You taught us to be strong. You taught us to fight back.
They can't?
You taught us family to
All right, tell them the video.
And that's why we all spoke together. This is you and Daddy that taught us how to be who we are.
Okay.
So China Father puts down one memory. Because our life is one memory. We don't have any bad memories. Not many kids can say that their life is all good memories. But I know I was coming to home until we left home, and even now, we always made us feel number one. And you're always our mother, no matter how old we are. And I hope my sisters keep it away from us. Our sisters.
This is good. This is good. Thank you.
We never got the top of the tree off, and my father wasn't very happy about the whole thing. But my father used to say you learn your biases at the dinner table. And my father would never say a bad thing about anybody. My mother would teach us the real life. Yeah. But when it came to biases, even when I was in the Lower East Side, it was a very, very poor area. My mother always fed the other kids I was with for lunch. We always had a lunch full of my friends. Mom always fed everybody. That's the way she was. Say one thing in one part of her, and the other part of her was there was no color line, nothing. Everybody was the same. If someone needed help, she was there. The great thing about my mom was with my dad, I learned about how to be romantic. He would come home, she'd have candles on, her high heels, the dress, and 2 Manhattans ready. And they would sit at the table. It was their tradition at the end of the table, and they'd have their first Manhattan, then they'd have their second one, and then get very philosophical. Yeah. Daddy would go sit and watch The Odd Couple, and we'd start dinner, and and have a dinner. But you guys were, truly the most romantic couple in the world. I was old enough to watch and observe a lot of it, and it was truly a love. I mean, you sometimes wonder what's that like, and you two had it. And then your sense of humor. The things you would say, like, the old common joke is you get up in the morning, read the obituary column, and decide if you're going to get up. My mother's was, you ever know they're all in alphabetical order? Just a different slant, And the thing was, it's very childlike. I mean, many times, most of us would not say something. It's usually you always learn, not to say something you don't have anything good to say. My mom would just blurt it out, without thinking, but usually it came out humorous. Even to the point of our dad's wake, when the priest was saying all these nice words, and Mom says, "You think Daddy heard it?" He's sitting there in the casket,
No, too bad Daddy wasn't
Too bad Daddy wasn't here to hear it.
I met the priest the next day, said your mother's quite a woman. I thanked him for the sermon. I would bless your mother's quite a woman.
But it's just like all the
That's when I say the deep breathing.
And everybody starts the conversation.
It looks like he's breathing. Everybody would say it. She made us laugh. They do look like they're breathing when they're later. Oh my God. I never had.
But you have always been this way, the sense of humor. Even when Daddy was chiding us about something, you would come up with something at the dinner table and crack everybody up. When Daddy was trying to be serious. But like I say, we have learned all the values from you and Dad. I mean, from both of you. It's the way you both all loved us. Never really, I would say, all you ever had was do the best you can. I didn't have to be an engineer, didn't have to go to college. Well, Daddy was pushing college all the time, but as long as whatever you did in life, you were happy. I mean, we had no conditions on us as children, Anytime there was a family problem, it stayed in family. Anytime we were arguing with each other, Daddy's rule was we couldn't leave the dinner table until we all got done hugging, kissing, and somehow you would make it humorous when Daddy's trying to get the argument. No, but what it was, we were sitting there, and Dad said, "You can't get up." Then you would be the instigator to say something to get the one person going on the other.
What about when Daddy was yelling and Mommy was about to laugh, and we'd all start to laugh?
Yeah.
She said, "Look at you, you're going to have a heart attack." She said we'd all laugh.
But
they weren't allowed to leave the table unless Daddy was finished eating. Right. Bob used to be very slow. And they wanted to go out. They weren't allowed to leave the table.
But you truly were the center of the family. Daddy couldn't live without you. I couldn't live without you. Diane, Joe, you have always been the center. You've never asked us for anything. You're always there to give to us when we were down, whatever it was, you were there. And that's all I can really say. And I hope in my own life with my kids, I've been able to at least take a part of you and extend it. With your sense of humor, with your warmth, honesty, and even your giving. I mean, you even talk about me, I give too much to the kids, but you were the biggest giver of them all.
Yes.
And if anybody learned how to give, we learned it from you. And we all love you, Mom. And we hope you have many more years, because we're going to keep you busy.
Which enabled us to be friends and watch the children grow. We had many patio parties that we really enjoyed. We all knew that we were all there for one another if needed. The men and I committed together at that time saving on gas, and wear and tear on the cars was important. I have many nice memories of Pat and our relationship. It is a pleasure to have her as our neighbor. Wishing you a very happy birthday, Trudy.
Oh, no. You're a good neighbor and friend.
Yeah, remember we met there, I think, in Flushing on the railroad station.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I came from one side and you were in the project from this.
The other side.
And I never met her before. We met there and we drove to
We put the houses together.
Can you imagine 1958?
Yeah.
50 years
And
ago.
they were working and they picked us up. And we came out here and we looked at it and we put, I think, $25.
$25 down.
Oh my God.
I still have the bill to the house.
Yeah.
I still have all the papers.
$25?
Down.
Yeah.
I was all afraid of losing.
They're nervous
Daddy was
wreck.
so worried he was going to lose $25.
$25 down.
Time, I mean, I remember when you
That's very
first
nice.
got
Open
it,
up the checking
it was
account
like
now.
$40
Yeah.
a week or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
40 a week.
40 weeks, that's a lot of money when you think
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, what a beautiful pie. What's this one? Oh,
But,
well. Oh, fat and
Frank,
Polish.
Trudy's
What a
husband,
surprise.
Mr. Knable, and my father,